Have you got a lot of old paintings that you've used as play paintings, all piled up either on a shelf or in a cupboard, and you're wondering what to do with them? Well, if you're anything like me, yes, I have got lots of them. So looking at them over the last few days, I thought I'm going to do something. It's horrible that they're all just there and not being utilised, because play paintings are fantastic and we can do so much more with them. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can transform those old paintings into something really lovely that you can even probably hang on the wall when you've finished. So, stay tuned and you can see the transformation. It's fantastic. And welcome to my studio. I'm Fahey. If you're here for the first time, fantastic, great to see you. I do a lot of different tutorials to help you build your confidence and your skills and your techniques and learn how to do really creative, wonderful paintings. So press the subscribe button if you would like to see more of these tutorials, and give me the thumbs up if you enjoy what I'm going to show you, which I'm sure you will. So without further ado, let's dive in, have some fun with these old paintings. So the first thing that I want you to do is to go and find some old play paintings that you have probably stashed in a cupboard or on a shelf somewhere. I've got a whole lot here of different things that I've been experimenting with textures and collage and colours and all kinds of interesting things. That's all covered in collage, that one. This one was another one that I was experimenting with. So I've got a whole stack of them, which I'm sure you have as well. So I've taken two from here, this one, and these are the two that I'm going to work on to do something different, exciting, fresh and fun. So what I have actually done already, and if you have this, it's very, very worth getting if you haven't, is transparent gesso. The reason why it's really fantastic is that obviously it's transparent, so it works like gesso. In other words, it covers whatever you've got and it's like a primer. But if you want to maintain, some of the colour behind, that's fantastic. And you can with the transparent gesso, and acts as the same thing. So when I put paint down on it, I'm still going to get pure paint, which is great, and that's what we want. So I'm going to work on these two. So I think it's always great to work in a series. So as one is drying, you can move to the other, vice versa, and it kind of keeps you fresh and alive. So I think I'm going to work on this one first. So I'm going to put that one to one side for a minute. And I have the thought that I want to do. I mean, this is kind of already very abstracted, but I want to do something else on it and then see where it takes me. Now, my inspiration for both of these is some kind of abstract flowers. At the moment it's the beginning of April and we've had a lot of rain and then a lot of sunshine, and the landscape is absolutely blooming with the most fantastic flowers, mainly yellows, lilacs and purples. So I've kind of got that in mind, but also I might use some different tones, but that's my inspiration. I want to do something abstracty and I want to do something with flowers that's a bit different. So find your inspiration. If you have an idea of something, go with it and see where it takes you. I've got a whole array of colours. I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but I'll keep it to a limited palette once I know what colours I want to use. But before I do any of that, I want to really draw on top of it. And I'm going to use, I've got a China marker here. And I feel that there's a lovely contrast between an abstract geometrical shape and the softness of flowers. So I'm kind of in that feeling that I might do something with blocks to start with as a starting point, and then see where that might take me. So I mean, I love the texture that's on this painting already, and I do like some of the colours that are there already. They're sort of inspiring me. So I'm kind of just blocking out some shapes to begin with, and I'm going to paint those in and see where that takes me. And I feel I'm going to go with these soft blues and grey, and also this lovely sort of yellow ochre and yellow, which is the colours that I want to use. So I'm going to take a flat brush and just kind of start to block in some of the areas. Now, it might need a few different layers, which is absolutely fine. And I don't mind at all that some of it comes through from underneath, and gives it some nice textures and tones. So literally with the first layer, it's quite translucent, that grey, to start off with. I'd like to kind of, I love this colour, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of the ochre, and I'm white. This is yellow ochre and white, and just see where that goes. It's really, the colours that I've got here, I really kind of like. Now, if I want to continue with some texture, I'm going to use a bit of kitchen roll, so I can lift some of the paint off and get some of what's behind still coming through. I'm going to add a little bit of white to this. It keeps it kind of quite loose. I still want it kind of bright and uplifting. I'm going to go in with some yellow. And again, it's first layer, so we will see, what happens. Let's go right over. So I've speeded up the video a little because it's quite a process, but you can, obviously see what I'm doing is, blocking in the shapes that I've drawn out, and looking at the colours. I feel that I'm wanting to go with the ochres and the blue, and then a mixture of both of them, giving me some nice soft pastel colours, the blues, and some very soft green, as you will see as we go. And I think once you start thinking out of the box with what you can do with your clay paintings, the possibilities become endless, really. And you can, really create some fascinating paintings, once you get over going over what you've done. There's this kind of funny feeling that we have in the back of our mind that those paintings will somehow miraculously turn into something else. And I feel that when we just kind of let go. I mean, I've had these around,
probably a year or more. So I can't even remember what the theme was that I started with, other than, obviously the results of the collage and different drawings and colours and this and that and the other. And I think it's great when you have a foundation of colour, because it does always give your paintings a really nice depth.
So this is the second one, and I want to kind of keep this feel and the theme and really the same colours. So I think I'm just going to go blind into this. I'm not going to draw any structure in it and wing it and see, intuitively where it might go. So I've still got some of this very light white and ochre on my brush, so I'm going to go in with that and just go into this and see where it might go. And I love it because you can really just get into the zone. I've got a kind of broad idea in my mind. I know that ultimately I want to have some flowers in it, and sort of abstract flowers. So we will definitely see where that might take me. But it's lovely just to kind of go with the flow and see exactly what might happen. I'm going with this lovely light blue and a bit of white with it. So it's going to pick up some of it from behind, which is great. And it's wonderful to transform old pictures, and because as you're painting, you get, every time you come, you've had more experience than the time before, so you can add that experience into the next painting.
Wouldn't it be great if we could paint as fast as this? But seeing I'm just blocking in, I've speeded it up quite a lot. So we want to get to the best bit where we're painting, and we're painting the flowers, which is exciting. So I think intuitively doing these shapes is really a good exercise in itself. And I've chosen to go with block shapes, but you could do this with anything. You could do it with circles, triangles, or whatever shape you wanted. But this is kind of what's in my mind. And then when you come to do your own, you can decide. And I think deciding on the color palette is important, because that will sort of set you up for the rest of the painting that you're going to do. I've finished this one now, and so I've got both of them together, just doing a little bit extra, a bit of texture on here, which I might change. I'll see as I go whether I decide to do that. Had this kind of interesting idea about it, but we'll see. So those finished, I'm going to now progress on to actually putting the flowers in.
The first one I'm going to work on is this one, and I've been having a look at it and thinking, okay, I want to put some flowers in, I want to make it abstract-y. How could I do that? So I've just sketched in an idea. Whether I stay with it or not is a different matter. I've put kind of like a vase in here and some outlines of circles and leaves in this one. And then I've done some long stalks here with some flowers here. So I'm going to see if it'll work. But it's such fun to kind of combine these two elements together. Now what I want to do before I start is, because there's colour under here, if I put yellow on here, which I might well do, it's so transparent, so I'm going to actually fill in those little areas with white, and then I can paint over them. So there's one here which I can do, another one here, and then I can paint over it, and I'm going to get the colour right. This leaf here, which not sure what colour I'm going to do them yet, but we'll see as we go. But it's such a fascinating little challenge to test yourself on, you know, what you can do with some old paintings that, you know, might have just been sitting there for ages. And, you know, what can we do with them?
So this is really, just blocking in the shapes that I want for the flowers, and on both the vase and the flowers that I've drawn in here at the top. So I've got an idea, and then when I come to paint them, because I've got them in white, I'll really get the pure colour on it. And that's a really good tip, because it can be very frustrating if you're trying to, say, put yellow on the top or orange on top of a darker colour underneath. You're not going to see it in the same way. So blocking in with white is a really good idea. And it's helpful and saves you a lot of frustration. So I've done that now, and now I'm going to decide on the colours that I'm going to use, particularly on the vase. And I do change this as we go, actually, but I'm going to go with the blue, I think, first. Now, you know, if you're enjoying this and you feel that, you know, you'd like to learn more about abstract painting and, develop some more skills and techniques to, you know, increase your confidence so you can really feel great about what you're doing. I have a fantastic free abstract painting mini course, and I go through, you know, actually putting shapes down and free drawing and then painting that in, and it's a really fantastic way to help you, build up your confidence to starting a painting. And although, you know, we love doing the play paintings and it's fantastic, but, you know, at some point in time, you want to actually do a painting. So the more practice that we have with this, the better we become. It's all about practice and learning. So if you want to take advantage of the free mini course, then I shall leave the links in the description below. And I think there's 4 or 5 lessons, and we go through this whole process, and I'm sure that you'd enjoy it. So back to this painting. I had this kind of funny idea about the vase, which looks like a bit of an odd shape, and I'm looking at it now, and it is a bit of an odd shape, which I did change. It would improve the shape. I wanted it to be abstracty, but it didn't really work. But that's fine. I'm going to change it. So I'm filling in the flower shapes. I'm trying to stay with the colour theme, although intensify the colour. And, you know, when we look at colour and colour values, we want to have those nice contrasts of colour values. And when you're doing something like this, it's interesting because I've got this lovely soft pastel background. So enhancing the colour on the flowers will really, make it pop in the end, which you'll see as we go. And, you know, the flowers you can be really, really free with, and do all kinds of interesting shapes. When you look at wildflowers, which I've been doing so much of recently because there's so many around, the shapes are fantastic. And, the colour combinations. What's so fascinating is how the colours come together in nature. At the moment, we're covered in yellow and purple flowers everywhere. And of course, they're complementary. And so they really highlight each other. It's quite fantastic, really, how that works. So I'm putting the orange in here in different tone values. So the one at the front is darker, and the one at the back is a little bit lighter. And then I'm blending it in to make some nice transitions within the petals themselves. And I'll give you a close-up so you can see it in a minute. But it's lovely to then have a look at how these tone values work. And what do the tone values mean? Well, if you had a look at a grayscale goes from white at one end and black at the other end. And you add a little bit of black to the white, white to the black, and you'll get your color values. So when you're looking at your actual colors, you see how those color values work. So you've got some lights against the darks. You've got the complementary colors against each other. But the lights and the darks are very interesting when you're studying how the values work. And if you're unsure, then take a photograph of the painting and on your camera or your phone, and then put it into black and white, and you will see where the darker tones are, where the mid tones are, and where the light tones are. And it really helps you then with the values actually on your picture. You'll be able to see, right, well, I need more light, or I need more dark, or I need more midtones. And it's very valuable to have a look at that until it becomes, natural, and exactly, how it works. So your color values are really worth studying. And then the next thing to really have a look at, whether you're doing abstract or representational painting, is your composition. Where is your eye going? And I haven't started on that yet with this painting, but I will do, and I'll show you later as we go. So I'm putting in now another little flower down here at the bottom to balance it up, give it another sense of interest. And again, that has an effect on your composition. I want you to sort of, I suppose you could say, the composition keeps the viewer engaged in the painting. You want them to, the eyes to go round the painting as you're looking at it. So you've got your focal point and your points of interest to keep within the painting and tell the story that you're telling. So, my story here is how I feel about the beauty of flowers and the effect that it's had on me as I've been looking around. And you can sort of feel that nice lightness in it, and happiness, really. It's quite a happy looking painting, isn't it? So I'm going to go in with more detail now with the colour, start defining the shapes a little bit more, and keep going backwards and forwards into how this is working. And I can always make changes if I want to, but you can see how much more intense now the colours are, to give some depth and to have those colour values happening with it.
So this is the painting so far. I've come quite a long way with it. I'm going to save the next a bit till next time, and I'm going to use some Caran d'Ache crayons, water soluble, and then we'll work on the other one in the next video. But you can see, how from beginning of a play painting, how you can really transform a painting with a new idea. And I've still got some of the texture underneath. It feels like it's got some depth in it, and it's got a history. So it's been really, really fun to do, and I'm excited to start the other one. I'm going to have it on a similar theme, so don't forget to press the subscribe button, and then you'll get the notification when the next video comes out with the second part. And don't forget to look at the links underneath for the free mini course, and all the other things that I've got on offer on my website. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and you'll go and have a play around with this yourself, with some of your play paintings. Never give up on something. You can always do something with it and transform it, make it different, and use what you've got underneath as a great foundation for another painting. Okay, so have fun. Many thanks again for watching and subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you next time.